NJPW lives. And it lives in a new form. As you can see, this is the 105th TWW show I've done, and this will be a much different show. I guess I'll just sort of set up what led me here and why it's been 2 months since I've done a modern wrestling show. And it's simple. I got really complacent. I was like, why am I sitting here doing Dynamite reviews, Collision reviews every week when there are people that are better at it than me? They have more passion about it than me. Because to be really honest, I'm a squirrel. My brain is very squirrely, okay? Especially with wrestling, because there's a lot out there, man. And I'm one of those people that's insane. Even though there's 4 million modern wrestling companies to follow, I also have now jumped into the historical footage world, which is just a whole other fucking universe, folks. So what I've decided to do, and I've been thinking about this for a while, is I want to use this show as something that can be used for people trying to get into things that are not mainstream necessarily. Now, I know I am going to talk about Forbidden Door. That's pretty mainstream, but I like to think, you know, there's New Japan, there's Stardom, there's CMLL influence. So getting into that world of the outliers. I want to talk about Pro Wrestling Noah. I want to talk about fucking that Macho Man $1 Million Man match that got dropped yesterday from WrestleFest 88. I want to talk about how good David Von Erich is. Okay? And I couldn't do that when I had this weekly albatross around my neck, and I put it on myself. I know that, okay? I'm aware. But I wanted to revamp this thing, and I would like to believe that I've gotten some level of cachet within the little social media wrestling world. Not that that means anything. Not that I think I'm anybody with that. Trust me. But it's true. You know, people are starting to pay attention a little bit to From Crockett to Chaos. Shout outs to my buddy Jim. We're killing it over there. We're smack dab in the middle of 1990 WCW. It is a fucking train wreck, but it's a beautiful disaster. And I'd like to believe that this show might just be a beautiful disaster as well. We'll see. I actually have done something I've never motherfucking done in my life for a show. Well, maybe that's not true. I do it for From Crockett to Chaos because there's so much to follow, and it is older wrestling, so you really got to keep things in order. But a modern wrestling show, I have never, ever done notes. Just full disclosure. That's why the previous 104 TWWs fucking suck, probably. But you know what? That's fine. It's all about new beginnings, folks. It's a new beginning for this show. It's a new beginning for myself. So let's get into the graps and the topics at hand, which are, yep, it happened, folks. The G1 final has come and gone. Everyone cried. Everyone screamed. Everybody fucking clutched their pearls. Everyone got their opinions out. Believe me, I read them fucking 400 times. I see you guys. You weren't too happy going into this one. To Konosuke Takeshita against Evil for the G1 Climax 35 trophy. And I'll say this. A lot of people were doom and gloom. And they're still doom and gloom about this. And I'll be really honest as well. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And what I've come to realize is this. I'll fully admit the House of Torture stuff, it was overkill, okay? I agree. I don't think there needed to be a million run-ins in every single match with Evil in the tournament and all the other fucking House of Torture guys like Ren Narita. I agree. However, it happened. And it's kind of the trope now with this group. And the thing that really put my feet firmly on the ground about this was when I found out from people that either live in Japan or know Japanese and follow Japanese wrestling very, very carefully. Those people told me that, hey, you got to understand, Evil and House of Torture are really fucking over with the kids, as they say, but quite literally. Young fans of New Japan love Evil. They love this shit. And you got to think about it. It makes a lot of sense. What do you there's this rebellious nature to kids, you know, and what do you rebel against? What is the norm to you? So, like, just a little example for me. I grew up in a family where like tattoos and biker culture was like the norm. So, I'm not into that shit. Like, it took me forever to even like be cool with the idea of getting a tattoo because my fucking dad has a million of them and they weren't cool to me, right? So if you think about being a Japanese kid in 2025, Japanese professional wrestling for decades basically has been very clean finishes. The words that I saw on Twitter that made me fucking laugh, but there is a truth to it, is the sanctity of Japanese wrestling, the purity of the wrestling, right? So what is a kid going to do? They're going to be like, you know, why doesn't somebody just run in and fucking cheat? And so that's what House of Torture is. Is it over the top? Fuck yeah. I totally agree. I think we've had our fill. All right. I'm not saying do more of it, but I am saying that I think maybe the idea here is Gato thinking that, hey, this could be my NWO group, right? For the kids. Is it drawing? It's not drawing. So there is that problem. But I just want people to understand it isn't just Gato hates you guys. You know what I mean? It isn't just Gato hates New Japan. He's trying, man. He's looking at the numbers that the younger fans skew towards Evil. Well, then let's fucking push him. And the other thing that I hate, and again, you know, I did put it in the description of this, but I still will say again, spoilers incoming for those that get upset when they spoil themselves, to be really honest, because I don't know why you'd be watching a fucking recap show about pro wrestling if you didn't watch the fucking pro wrestling being discussed. But either way, this whole time when I saw, you know, that Konosuke and Evil were going to be the final, I was like, oh, yeah, well, Takeshi's going to win it then. No part of my soul thought Evil would win this. And the fact that people were just immediately going, I just can't believe they're doing this. Evil won. It's a part-timer. Guys, fucking be a WWE fan for fucking 20-something years like I was. Okay? Are you new? You know, it's like the meme where they're at the gallows. Oh, you're new here. Yeah, literally. Are you guys new? And hey, if you are, then you have an excuse and I will not give you shit. But for some of these people that have been online in the sphere of the quote unquote IWC, which, oh my God, that's become a fucking no word for me. I can't even fucking read that anymore. Do you not understand how to follow a pattern in the wrestling world? Like, they really laid it out for you really obviously with this whole ascension of Takeshita from a guy that started the tournament as just another fucking heel, a Don Callis fucking douchebag, into now where he wins this tournament and he fought against literally Evil. Could you be more black and white about it? And, you know, and then people are saying, well, the reaction wasn't what it should have been. Guys, it's a cyclical business. And right now, it very clearly looks like New Japan is on that downturn. And it was bound to happen. I mean, I think people expected it when the Elite guys left and AEW was formed. And then for whatever reason, you know, they soldiered on. They had Okada still. They had Naito still. They started to sort of like go with Sonata a little bit. Evil started to become a top guy. Hiromu was very over at the time. There was a lot of things happening, and it seemed like maybe that was delayed, you know, because that momentum was so strong. And now we're seeing the reality. The wave has finally receded, and this is what it is. And so for people that are upset, I mean, hey, you are absolutely valid to be upset. I think where my frustration comes in is hey, like, you had the information in front of you. And in this blinder culture that I've noticed that is beginning to form is maddening for me. A guy that's like really curious about wrestling. I really want to know as much as possible about everything, even if it sucks, even if I don't like it. Maybe I'm just nuts, which, I mean, let's be honest. If you've watched this show or any of my shows, you know that already. Speaking of nuts, I went from there. Oh, also, I will say that I loved this G1 match. I thought it was fantastically structured. They went straight into, Evil and his fucking evil ways, quote unquote, all the run ins. And then, of course, Red Shoes and the Young Lions and all these other guys ran them the fuck out of there. And then we got a match, and we got a damn good match. These people that think Evil can't work, what are you talking about? You're probably the same people that think Jay White can't work. Is it because they don't do 50 dives? That was another thing that I posted on the X app that I have now frequented again. And it's really, going back to what I said earlier, the historical footage people that, like, you guys just won't get off fucking X, okay? I'll be honest. You're the only reason I'm there. But my point is this. I don't know why that's a thing. Why is that a thing online where people think Evil can't wrestle, or that people can't wrestle if they don't do spots or they don't look flashy, quote unquote? I would argue wrestling's better when it's dirty and fucking kind of fucked up, and, but I'm also a guy that thinks the idea of botching is silly. My point is, Evil really had a great match here. He did. A lot of great knee-focused offense because, again, Konosuke came into this match with a bum knee. Evil's finish is a Scorpion Deathlock. Hello. I mean, that alone puts Evil in the upper echelon of fucking guys, in my opinion. My God, you're doing limb work at all? Holy shit. So, it was great. Takeshita won. And I'll say this. I think that the panic button being hit, oh my God, he's never going to be around. This feels like a way for Tony Khan to get Takeshita away for a little while so that he can be missed and he can go to New Japan and become a bigger star, be a top guy there. And another thing that people forget is he was a DDT kid. And he fucking loves wrestling. And I loved that promo that he cut where he was like, there are people in the back that love New Japan more than me, sure. But I guarantee you no one loves pro wrestling as much as me. And I will leave it there about the G1. I feel like I've beat that horse to death. Oh, buddy, Dead Horses is not a good segue for this one. Noah held the Navigation Premium event the same day as the semifinals of the G1, and the main event was the brand new GHC heavyweight champion Kenta against his wrestling soulmate, as a lot of people have put it, and I really like that term, and it's very, very true for these guys, and Kenta specifically, Naomichi Marufuji. And I wrote in my notes, for me this match is very complex. It's a complicated relationship. I fucking became a huge Japanese wrestling fan from Kenta Marufuji matches from 2005 and 6. To me, that era of Noah, that early 2000s to like that, just the 2000s, to be honest, of Noah is my sweet spot. That's like my comfy stuff. That's good, warm and fuzzies for me. And so watching those matches and those really forming my view of what wrestling could be. And you got to remember, I got the internet very late in my life. I was in high school watching this stuff, and a lot of people had already gotten past it, right? And I'm over there like, holy shit. And this is only a couple years after it happened. I'm probably watching this stuff in 2007, 2008, and it blew my mind. I mean, to this day, some of those matches I would put up as some of the greatest of all time. This match, I would not. And I hate to be the guy that rains on the parade, because I saw a lot of people and that are really deep in Noah that praise this and love it. And I understand, because the nostalgia around it and the history, the importance of everything around it. Yeah, it's huge. It's big. It's great. I thought the match under-delivered. I think more so than even that, Marufuji looked rough. And there are bad nights, and then there's you can't take a guy's finish after 4 times nights. And to me, it just felt like a great signal that hey, maybe Marufuchi needs to phase out a little bit. And he kind of has, I guess. I mean, he doesn't do like every single show ever. And if he does, I hope to God it's multi-mans because, yeah, this was rough to watch. There was enough good in it that I'm not going to say it's bad, but that fucking last 2 to 5 minutes are some of the roughest 2 to 5 minutes of a wrestling match this year. And, you know, poor Kenta, man, you could tell he was very dejected, to say the least. I mean, here he is back in Noah after a New Japan run that was very lackluster, to be fair. And he's the fucking heir apparent, man. Or not the heir apparent, he's the man, right? Like, Kenta is the guy that went off, left the arc, and went to WWE and became a star, or at least tried, right? Went to New Japan, was in their hottest group at one point, you know. So you know he wanted to come back, get this title, and make it fucking big. And we will have to see his performance in the N1 victory tournament to see if that occurs. And there's a nice little shot for those of you watching on YouTube. I love Noah with their graphics because they're like, hey, let's fucking cram every motherfucker we have in the tournament in one picture. But it looks great. You know, I mean, why not? And here's how it is broken up. It starts September 8th, goes through to the 23rd. And, you know, this is what I love about Japan. Right now, also, you've got Marigold and fucking Stardom doing their own tournaments head to head, which is like, it feels so 80s All Japan, New Japan petty that I fucking love it. I'm all for it. Noah at least always waits for fucking the G1 to end, but then again, Noah is also much smaller than Nuge, if you will, although that's another term that's driving me nuts. Let's get into the grouping. Group A is Group A, man, because this field is impressive. You got the GHC Heavyweight Champion Kenta, Kaito Kiyomiya, Manabu Soya, Ulka Sasaki. God, his name always fucks me up. Ulka Sasaki. Kazuyuki Fujita. Holy shit, the fact that he's wrestling in 2025 is insane. One of my favorites from DDT days, Tetsuya Endo. Masa Kitamiya, who just turned and joined Team 2000X. And Daga, another 2000X member. Group B, this is kind of like your mixed bag and young guy group. I'm going to be very interested in Group B. Galeno, who is unbelievable. If for those of you that don't know anything about Noah, he is the son of Dr. Wagner Jr., of course, the brother of the former GHC heavyweight champion El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. He also used to be he's the current national champion, excuse me. Getting ahead of myself. Marufuchi will be in the tournament. We'll fucking see if he can even hold up to there. One of my other favorites, a bad motherfucker, Keno. What do you say about Keno other than just go look up Keno, please? Daiki Inabe, who a guy that came from Wrestle 1 back in the day. Really solid, like, I don't even know how to describe him. He's like a fucking little anvil that just beats the shit out of you. And he's jacked to all fucking heavens. And recently he was one half of the GHC Tag Champions with Manabu Soya. Jack Morris, who I've been very high on Jack Morris for a while here, he just recently was turned on by Team 2000X, and he was one of the founding members, so he's coming into this as a newly created babyface, which will be interesting. Harutoki, who is the most recent Noah full-time signing, he had been working freelance for the last year or so, comes from the Dutonburi Pro Company, as well as previously being part of Osaka Pro. And it's really cool with this guy because, he, again, I like Noah because they'll use freelance guys and fucking push them. They don't just treat him like, and then also this guy's here. They're like, hey, we'll fucking use anyone we can get, which is great from that perspective with Noah. But the coolest thing is this guy's a freelancer. And then last year, still as a freelancer, he just was like, hey, Kaito, I want to be part of your All Rebellion face group. And Kaito was like, yes. I fucking love little shit like that. And then Ricky Knight Jr., the younger brother of Saraya Knight. And, this guy can fucking ball, buddy. He's a good fucking worker. He'll be a nice guy that can have good matches with everyone in the field. And then our man, Ozawa, the leader of Team 2000X, easily the shining star right now of Noah. Very charismatic. Think vindictive, evil version of how goofy Hiromu Takahashi acts. And that's barely scratching the surface of how great Ozawa is. So there you go, folks. The N1, I'm very excited about. I've never watched the N1 from start to finish. I will do that this year like I did the G1 because I'm a fucking sicko motherfucker. I can't explain it to you people. But I can also not explain why MJF and Mystico is just magic. This fucking feud has been phenomenal, whether it's in America or Mexico. There is such molten heat around MJF winning that CMLL light heavyweight championship. It's ridiculous. The man has been accosted in public, famously after the Grand Slam Mexico show when he beat Mystico. I mean, this is phenomenal. And then the added caveat that they will be at the 92nd Anniversario show, and it will be mask versus title. Big deal, man. I'm so excited right now for CMLL. I have yet to see the Zandokan Jr. MJF match. I've heard high marks. The guy that I'm most excited about right now in CMLL, and I'm not even apologetic, is Difunto. Okay? And another guy, actually, let me fucking throw up Difunto on this motherfucker. That is fucking Difunto. And let me tell you guys, that doesn't even do him justice. He is such a fucking unique luchador. First off, the fact that your fucking name translates to deceased is sick, man. That's fucking the coolest. No one is more metal than Difunto. Okay? Just so you know, there's no one more mental and metal, Freudian slip, than Difunto right now. This dude rules. That fucking that springboard shotgun drop kick that he does, I can't even describe it. You gotta just go see Difunto from CMLL. This dude fucking rules. Need more of him. Also, shout out to Tony Khan for letting ROH just be the lucha place lately. Fucking love that. And speaking of Tony Khan, look at me with the segues today. Unbelievable. We had ourselves a little bit of development going on this week. A lot of development going on this week with Forbidden Door. And it really started Wednesday. But it amped up in a big way with Collision with the 4-way technical spectacle. It was Hechicero. It was Nigel McGuinness. It was Daniel Garcia, you see here dejected. And it was Lee Moriarty. And of course, we know that he's dejected here because old Daniel lost again. Boo-hoo. But Nigel won. So first off, we get Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel, which I'll get to in a second. The importance here is Nigel wins, and being the fucking naive babyface, because I don't know why every babyface is naive, he goes, I'm not going to do a British accent. I almost did a British accent for you people, and that would have just killed my entire fucking credibility. He's like, Daniel, I know you're fucking sad right now because I, beat you and 3 other guys because I'm fucking Nigel motherfucking McGuinness. But I want you ringside for my match at London. And I'm like, okay, this is the dog whistle for Danny's heel turn. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I think, Garcia was a better heel. Once he went babyface, it went to shit. I feel like this entire babyface run has been so lackluster. Him with the TNT title has been fucking lackluster. The best thing they ever did was get it off his ass. So the real thing here, though, is, of course, this right here. I mean, I can't imagine a world where Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness in the O2 in London for the IWGP World title could suck. So I don't think it's going to suck. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to rule a lot. And yeah, I mean, of course, I think Zack Sabre wins this match because I can't imagine Nigel being willing to fly multiple hours every tour back and forth. I don't think that's happening, but it's all about the moment here. It feels like this is Tony Khan giving Nigel the proper send off for his career that he deserved so many years ago. This alone is worth the money to buy this pay-per-view for me. And then we get more shit because then we get the fucking 4-way TBS international incident. Mercedes Moné putting her TBS title on the line against Alex Windsor and Persephone from CMLL. Huge mark. And we have yet to find out who the Stardom representative is. And I can't even begin to fucking speculate because they've got their 5-star Grand Prix going on. It just fell into the playoff stage. All I know is that Stardom roster is full of killers. I'm happy with whoever comes, to be really honest. I know there's a lot of people out there that won't be because they're very nitpicky. They're very in the fucking weeds. And that's cool. But I'm not. So I'm just excited to see 4 badass women beat the shit out of each other because I can tell you right now, for one, Alex Windsor brings it. Fucking Persephone brings it. I've seen that. And Mercedes is on the run of her entire career right now. So this is phenomenal all around. I do have Mercedes retaining either way, but still awesome fucking match. This will one of the more Forbidden Door true matches where we've got a lot of representation going on here. Same with the TNT title. I am so fucking pumped for Kyle Fletcher versus Hiromu. This will be great. I'm excited for people to realize that Hiromu is more than just a goofy character and also more than just the juniors guy. I think he really has that likability, that charisma that could make him a huge star. He's one of those people that when these New Japan fans are like, who's next? I'm like, fuck, you got a Hiromu right there. I feel like Hiromu's a guy, I mean, he is on the shorter side, but like, who fucking cares, man? Are we really in 2025 caring about height in modern wrestling? You know, like, I don't know. To me, you can either work or you can't, and he's fucking over. This will be great. Of course, I think Fletcher retains the title, but he's going to have a banger match here with Hiromu, and he's going to have a match that is going to really show off his ability as that fucking quick sprint fucking worker. And then Hiromu will also have an opportunity to really hang with a bigger guy and, you know, help his stock in New Japan as somebody that like, hey man, I can graduate to the juniors. Hello. It's like what Noah is doing right now with Hayata. Come on. Hayata's a little taller, but like I said, fuck that. That's so silly. And then fuck, I mean, maybe the big one. This might be the big one match, and it's probably not. It's definitely not going to be the main event, unfortunately. Okada defending that new AEW unified title against Swerve Strickland. The fact that this isn't being talked about more is crazy to me. This is one of those great matchups that like you don't think about maybe till you see it on paper, and then you're like, whoa, this is cool. We've never had this before. I think Okada gets a lot of slack for no reason. I think he's been phenomenal in AEW. First off, why are you comparing New Japan with AEW in terms of the run? It's a different animal. AEW's weekly television, okay? You're not going to be able to every single week put on these fucking New Japan killer matches. It's a different thing, right? Like in New Japan, you tell your stories in the ring mostly. In AEW, you have an opportunity to be a character. And I think Okada's been a great character. That douchebag heel, the bitch thing has worked, I think, tremendously. And then Swerve. I mean, Swerve's in the conversation of like top 3 in the fucking whole entire world right now. And that means he's top 3 in AEW, by the way. He's tremendous. He has aura. You want to talk about aura farming? This motherfucker, dude, has aura for days. Another match too that I really honestly, I mean, I think Okada wins, right? But I wouldn't be mad if Swerve won this. This is great booking. This is People give Tony shit. This is good ass booking, man. He's leveled both of these guys up independently, that now putting them together is like, oh yeah, this feels right. So I'm very excited for that match. And holy shit, the Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm against Athena. I have been so pleased with Athena's re-emergence in AEW. She hasn't fallen back. She hasn't felt less than. In fact, I think she has hung with Timeless as well as Mercedes did. And I think Mercedes did it better than anybody. So this is a marquee matchup. This is another one that if this was the main event, I wouldn't bat an eye. This is phenomenal. Now we get into the finish, though. We have a lot of things moving because we know that Athena defends the ROH Women's title after this show. The following week, in fact, before All Out in Philly against Mina Shirakawa. So what does that mean, right? Does that mean that she somehow wins the title off Timeless here in London and she goes into that match a double champion and then she drops it to Mina? This one's intriguing for a lot of different reasons for me, because it's like, maybe in a way Tony inadvertently booked himself in a strange corner here, in my view, because again, you already announced the Mina ROH World title match, but we have this looming. It adds intrigue in one hand, but on the other, it's also like, well, I don't see Timeless losing on this stage, really. I mean, I could see it happening, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's one of those things where I just don't think Tony Khan is ready to pull the trigger on a Timeless title drop. But I also think it's time for Athena. I feel like she's been and the bridesmaid in this AEW women's division for so fucking long. They literally cast her to ROH to just be the best woman there. And she's, outgrown that to a point now where like you have to address it. And I just hope Tony Khan's prepared for the possibility of Timeless retaining this title, Athena not looking as strong as she needs to because of that, and there being a lot of backlash. And I do think that's going to happen. I think Timeless dropping it doesn't have the same backlash. And I'll say this too. There are a lot of my buddies that I have that are very kind of sick of Timeless. Some of us love this stuff and it's great and we want to say it's evergreen, but the reality is it's not evergreen with everybody. And my wife is one of them. She's like, I like it more than I did, but it's like kind of over, right? Like literally, she looked at me the other night and was like, this Timeless thing's kind of over, right? Like it's done over. And I'm like, I haven't really thought about it, but hey, I'm hearing a lot of people say it. And listen, that doesn't mean fucking pump the brakes necessarily, but it does mean you probably need to think a little bit. And so this is one of the biggest head scratcher matches in the sense of, I don't know what you do, man. Either way, I do expect it to be a great match. And that leads us to the fucking AEW World title. I was very surprised that they pulled this trigger now. I expected them to wait. But I also think kudos to Tony Khan, because everybody, and I mean everybody I knew, was, I wanted to say whining, to be really honest, because it was getting to almost whining levels with people going, I don't want this to be a cash-in thing. I don't want this to be a cash-in thing. Even though they've already established that it is. That's the only thing sometimes with some of you modern fans. You drive me nuts. There is precedence for a reason. I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong. I'm just like, when there is this shocking revelation reaction from some people, I just want to look at them and shake them and go, where have you been? Where have you been? Christian cashed in the middle of a match at Revolution. Okay? It's already been established. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. All right? You can't. Chalk it up on a TK minus then. You know what I mean? So with that said, he didn't do that here. He steered away from that. And he said, all right, we're going to do it like this. MJF's calling his shot. It's at Forbidden Door. And in that sort of setting, it makes sense, right? Because everyone's like, oh my God, let's figure this out. And he's, probably thinking, well, all right, since you guys don't like the cash in thing, I'm going to just fucking throw it on Forbidden Door. And not to mention, Forbidden Door is another thing that has been just beat into powder from a lot of fans. Now, with that said, I think this is a magic feud. I said it last year when they did this at Full Gear, I believe was the pay-per-view that they did this last. These guys have great chemistry. This has literally been a feud that started on the very first AEW show. So, is it Forbidden Door? No, but I think it's bigger than that. It's AEW going back to its roots. I think this is more of a message to the people that hate on AEW and want it to be something it isn't. This almost feels like Tony Khan saying, okay, well, these are our two homegrown top guys by a landslide. And here you go. You want to counterbook this? Try. I don't think you're going to be able to do it. So this, I think, is a very direct reaction to the whole WWE counter programming drama. I think he's like, okay, well, whether you do that or not for this show doesn't really matter, because we're putting our feet in the sand here and we're saying these are our guys. And I think he's right. With that said, who do I think wins? I think Hanger wins. I think Hangman wins. MJF's one of those guys. For one, he's got the match with Mystico. He's got the light heavyweight title. Does he really need the world championship right now? I don't think so. And this will make people mad, because I just thought about something that might get everyone kind of... It's not rage bait, but it's just a thought. What if MJF loses this match, and then the next Wednesday he comes out still with the little clipboard, and he says, I never said it was me cashing in my shit. Whether he did or not doesn't matter, right? He's a heel. What if they do that? What if he's like, nah, Hangman won my fucking, baited me or whatever. Let's fucking do it that way. I don't think that happens, but hey, craziers happen. So you guys, some of you might be clutching your pearls for a while with that thought. And then that leads us to, in my mind, what should be the main event of this thing, because it's the craziest match. The steel cage 12-man. Wait, no, 10-man. At least it's a 10-man, folks. There's not fucking 12 guys in the goddamn cage. Lights out. Claudio, Moxley, the Bucks, and Gabe Kidd. Yes, the same one that was out of the G1. And boy, there's a lot of drama around that announcement against the ace, the president of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, the returning Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Will Ospreay is also returning, and Darby fucking Allin. Mental is the word that comes to mind. I expect this to be absolute anarchy. No pun intended. Maybe. Complete fucking lunacy in a match. And I think Ospreay wins, right? The whole fucking pay-per-view, graphics have basically been Ospreay dead center. He's the fucking top star of British descent, right? So he's got to win this motherfucker. And I'll go further. I think, it's the Moxley give back tour. It seems like he's, giving Hanger wins and everything. Redemption time for the baby faces. I think Ospreay beats him. I think Darby hits him with the big move to weaken him, to give Darby that rub of all right, Darby softened him up for the hidden blade or whatever it is. And your baby faces stand strong. And plus, is fucking Tanahashi really going to come in? Conceivably his last AEW match, right? His last British match. He's already announced that, at least I believe so. And just lose? I don't think so. I expect everyone to look strong here. The real X factor, of course, is like I mentioned before. How healthy is Gabe Kidd? Is this going to be one of those things like with him at Double or Nothing where he's kind of like a side, get bumped a couple times and lay in the corner thing? Or are we getting Gabe Kidd back? Because I really hope so. I hope this isn't a rush him in thing, cover it up with a multi-man and just hope for the best, because that usually doesn't end very well in my experience. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. Is it fucking random? Absolutely. But I think this is, again, a testament to Tony Khan that he had to pivot. You know, this was not, he's already said this wasn't supposed to be in August. There was a lot of logistical shit that happened. And I think, as of right now, this is a phenomenal card, man. And is it piecemealed? Sure, but that happens in wrestling. I don't hate on it. I'm not mad about it. I'm actually very excited about it. And then, of course, the match that I didn't mention because it's yet to be official, but we can go ahead and probably assume the finals of the tag eliminator deal is, of course, Bodito, Jesus. It is FTR versus Bandito, and Brody King. And the winner goes on, of course, to face Hurt Syndicate for the World Tag Team titles. All the hoopla and drama around MVP refusing to let his guy's job to whoever. Here's what I think. I think that, did that happen? Probably. Do I think it was as severe as people think? No. And I think that it was just a way to get all this heat back on FTR, like they're, keep trying to do. I think FTR cheats to win Wednesday. I mean, Bandito doesn't need 2 belts, okay? Brody King, I would argue, needs a win, and he needs a big win, but they're not going to do it here. So I think it's FTR Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door, and I think FTR take the titles. I think they fuck them out of it. Maybe MJF fucks Hurt Syndicate out of it. Either way, I think it's getting dropped. I don't know what happens to Hurt Syndicate. Honestly, I'm very whatever about it, but that is that, and that is what I have for you this week. I think that I like this new format. I'm very excited to give you guys a glimpse into wrestling that you don't just get on TV. And like I said, I know I spend a lot of time on Forbidden Door. That's because this is the whole thing, right? It's the New Japan, Stardom, CMLL, co-event. So I feel like it's very topical. And yeah, thank you all for checking out the show. And until next time, go watch wrestling you've never seen before. You never know. You might just love it.